We're heading to the northernmost island of Japan, Hokkaido, a place known for its stunning natural beauty, snowy winters, and delicious food. But beyond the scenic landscapes lies a history steeped in chilling tales and local legends, and one of the most infamous stories comes from a place you'd least expect it, a school. This isn't just any ghost story, it's a tale that has been passed down through generations of students, a story that some swear is absolutely true. Our story takes place in a now abandoned elementary school nestled in a rural part of Hokkaido. Let's call it the Midori Gakuen, or Green Academy. From the outside, it looks like any other old school building in Japan. Weathered wood, large windows, and a silent playground where the laughter of children has long since faded. But the locals know better. They whisper of strange occurrences, of ghostly figures seen in the windows, and of an unsettling presence that lingers within its walls. The legend is so pervasive that for years, no one dared to even step foot on the property after dark. The origins of the haunting are shrouded in mystery, with several theories competing for the truth. One of the most popular and heartbreaking stories involves a young girl who was a student at the school many years ago. She was a quiet, introverted child who often kept to herself. Tragically, she passed away suddenly from a severe illness, her life cut short before it had truly begun. The legend says her spirit, unable to move on, remained behind in the place where she felt most comfortable and safe, her beloved school. She is said to roam the empty classrooms, her faint footsteps echoing in the silence, forever searching for the classmates who have long since grown up and moved away. Another darker version of the story speaks of a terrible accident that occurred during the school's construction. A worker allegedly fell from the roof and perished on the grounds. His spirit, angry and restless, is said to be the source of the more malevolent phenomena reported at the school. People have claimed to hear disembodied shouts and the sound of something heavy falling, particularly near the area where the accident supposedly happened. This version of the tale serves as a grim reminder of the unseen history that can lie beneath the foundations of even the most ordinary places. But what really cemented the school's haunted reputation were the first-hand accounts from students and teachers who actually attended Midori Gakuen before it closed its doors for good. One of the most common reports was the sound of a piano playing by itself in the music room on the third floor. Teachers would lock the room securely at the end of the day, only to hear a faint, melancholic melody drifting down the corridor late at night. When they would go to investigate, the music would abruptly stop. They'd unlock the door to find the room completely empty, the piano cover closed and coated in a thin layer of dust, with no signs of anyone having been there. Then there were the sightings in the science lab. Students would often talk about seeing lab equipment, particularly the anatomical model of the human body, moving on its own. Imagine being a young student, staying late to finish a project, and out of the corner of your eye, you see the model's arm slowly lift as if to wave. Several students reported this exact experience, often running from the room in terror. Janitors cleaning up at night would find beakers and test tubes inexplicably rearranged, sometimes even stacked in impossible, gravity-defying formations on the countertops. The school's bathrooms were another hotspot for paranormal activity. The third-floor girls' bathroom in particular was notorious. The story goes that if you were to go into the third stall, lock the door and ask, "Are you there, Hanako-san?" a ghostly voice would whisper back, "Yes, I am here." This is a classic Japanese urban legend, but at Midori Gakuen, it felt chillingly real. Students who were brave or foolish enough to try the ritual claimed to have heard the whisper, or worse, saw a pale hand reaching over the top of the stall door. Many refused to use that bathroom altogether, preferring to run all the way down to the first floor, even if they were in a hurry. Perhaps the most terrifying accounts came from the night security guards who patrolled the grounds after the school was officially shut down. One guard, a man named Tanaka-san, shared his story with a local historian. He had been doing his rounds one winter night, the snow outside muffling all sound. As he walked past the main school building, he noticed a light on in a second-floor classroom. He knew for a fact that the electricity to that part of the building had been cut off for years. His heart pounding, he shone his powerful flashlight up at the window. For a fleeting moment, he saw the silhouettes of what looked like several small children sitting at their desks, their heads turned towards the window as if watching him. He blinked, and they were gone. The light was out. Shaken, he radioed his supervisor, who dismissed it as a reflection or a trick of the light. But Tanaka-san knew what he saw. He resigned the very next day and never returned. Another guard reported hearing the distinct sound of a basketball being dribbled in the gymnasium in the middle of the night. He would go to check, his footsteps the only sound in the vast, empty building. As he'd approach the gym doors, the dribbling would stop. Peering inside, he'd see the basketball sitting perfectly still in the center of the court. But sometimes, just as he was about to turn away, the ball would slowly roll a few inches on its own, as if moved by an unseen player. These inexplicable events became so frequent that the security company had trouble finding anyone willing to take the night shift at the old school. As the years went by, the stories of Midori Gakuen spread beyond the local community, attracting paranormal investigators and thrill seekers from all over Japan. One group of young ghost hunters decided to spend a night in the school, armed with cameras, audio recorders, and an electromagnetic field meter. They documented their entire experience. For the first few hours, everything was quiet. They explored the classrooms, the library, and the dreaded third-floor bathroom, but nothing happened. Disappointed, they were about to pack up when their equipment suddenly went wild. In the science lab, their EMF meter began screaming, its needle jumping into the red zone. At the same time, the temperature in the room dropped dramatically. They could see their own breath in the air. On their audio recorder, they later captured a clear electronic voice phenomenon, a faint, childlike whisper that seemed to say, "Get out." Then a stack of old textbooks on a shelf flew across the room, crashing against the opposite wall. Terrified, the group fled the school and never looked back. The footage they captured became a minor sensation online, adding a new layer of modern evidence to the old legends. So what is it about this old school in Hokkaido that seems to hold on to its ghosts so tightly? Some paranormal experts believe that places with strong emotional energy, like schools, hospitals, or theaters, can act as a sort of spiritual battery. The intense emotions of thousands of children over decades, the joy, the sadness, the friendships, the fears, all of that energy gets absorbed into the very fabric of the building. In rare cases, this residual energy can manifest in ways that we perceive as hauntings. A traumatic event, like the death of a student or a worker, can act as a catalyst, creating a focal point for this paranormal activity. Today, the Midori Gakuen stands silent, a monument to the memories and the mysteries it holds within. The windows are boarded up, and a tall fence surrounds the property to keep people out. But the stories live on. Locals driving by at night still sometimes report seeing a flicker of light in a window or a fleeting shadow moving behind the glass. The legend of the haunted school in Hokkaido has become a part of the local folklore, a chilling bedtime story that might just be true. It reminds us that sometimes the past doesn't stay in the past and that some goodbyes are never truly said. What do you think? Are these just stories created by overactive imaginations? Or is there truly something supernatural lingering in the empty halls of Midori Gakuen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have a local ghost story from your own hometown, I would love to hear it. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of Japan's most chilling tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.